Hello, this is Lucas from Looq, and I am going to be demoing our new virtual survey tool today as part of our qSurvey module. So you can see here I've already started. I got some different layers here and some points drafted up, but let's go back to the start. So if I open up a capture here in 3D. See here in the 3D tab. If you expand out our qSurvey module, you'll see now beside the aligned control, we have a virtual survey tool here. So I'm going to open that. And now I can either create a new one or select from existing. So if I want to create a new one, call this one GPB 2. And I select the code profile. So you have a bunch of different ones here. Today we're going to be focusing on Trimble Business Center. So these are the Trimble Business Center default codes that I have exported out of there. We've specified the code. So this is the feature code, a description, and whether it's a point or line. Then finally what layer it goes on. The layers are just for assigning different colors and organizing all of your points and lines. But the most important thing is the feature code, description, and the type. So you can import. I just have these formatted as a CSV that I imported them in here for. You can also add codes in manually or pick from one of our default ones. So I'm going to click Start Virtual Survey. You can see it's created a new empty one here. All the layers there. I can change the colors if I want to. And then if I open up Code Library, you'll see that all of the codes I defined at the start are there. They're still visible, but now they're locked. So I can still, at this point, I can add a new code, but I can't edit existing ones. If I want to use a different set of codes, then I would have to create a new virtual survey. So there's one I just created. I can hit create. I can start creating points and lines here. So for example, if I wanted to get this light post in here, I'm going to type in LP. It's detected that it's a point. For example, if I wanted to do a flow line, that's detected as a line. So I'm going to close out of that. I'm going to load up the one that I had been previously working on. So I'll pick this one. So that's a previous virtual survey that I had started, and you can see I've already created points here on various features. We got a power pole here, signpost, and I was just getting started on the paint lines over here. So I got the paint lines all started, and I'm going to continue on. So I'm going to hit create. I got the point number, so it's picked up the next available one, 55. I could change this and assign a new arbitrary point number if I wanted to, for example, 100. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go back to 55, and I'm going to say a new paint line. Right now I'm going to leave the control codes activated. That adds a B and an E to the end of them. If you want to do a custom version of that, you can type in your own labels. So for example, common one is ST at the start of the line. So if I was to type in ST and click here, then I would have the PL feature code as well as the ST to indicate the start of the line label at the end. But for right now, I'm not going to do that. Oops. I am just going to start a new line here. And so I'll go with PL. And I'll start here. Kind of want to make sure that this is snapped in to our other line so that those nodes are connected. There, and now I could just shoot straight across to the end, but I want to use this as a break line in the surface as well. So I might add a few additional vertices here, just to make sure that we're not interpolating too far for that surface. And then I will shoot across. Now I'm done. You can see I'm going to right click. That ends the line. It's saved so I can close the tool. Great. You can see I got a line there. It's now appeared down here under our, if I just close this, under the roadways. If I zoom to it, that zooms to this line right here. There's the other one over there. And you can jump around to the different lines. I can also select one. If editing is unlocked, I can select something, for example, this one, and it'll bring back up the editing toolbar. Here I can, if I've clicked in the wrong spot, I can edit the node or the control code or anything there. There. So I got one paint striping line over there. Now I'm going to move on over here. I'm going to continue on. So create another paint line. Zoom in here. Sometimes you might have to give it a second for the point cloud to render. If you let it load for a minute, oftenly it comes up in a bit higher resolution. So I'll give that a second to render. Then I'll continue on with my drafting. So let's say I wanted to end it right there. Great. I have another line. I'm going to create another one. Go in here. Snap it to the same spot. Maybe I'll add a few vertices here to indicate this line curves a little bit. Once again, I'm going to put a vertex right there because I know in the future I want to connect that. And I'll go here, here, and then across. Once again, snap it in, and then right click to end that line. So now if I keep going, it's going to save the PL code. I can change it if I want, or I can keep going with that same code. Let's connect these. Once again, left click to start. Left click again to snap it in, and then right click to end it. Great. So I got some striping here. Now if I continue on, let's look for a point feature. Okay, great. We got a great right here. Awesome. Now I may want to verify that. So I can actually enable the images, and I can pick one, for example. So that's going to open a pop-up. And if I drag that over here, you can see, there we go. If I want to look at more detail, I can open up the images in the area and take a look at what's going on. You can see the vehicles are blurred out, and I can really see what's going on here in high detail. But now I'm going to pop back to the point cloud. This is loaded up a bit more. Hit create again. I'm going to type in GRE. That's been detected here, and so I have that one classified as a line, but that actually should be a point. So that's something that needs to be edited in the code library. So we'll continue on, make some changes to that in the future. So now I want to go over to another part of the capture. Here I got looks like a power pole that I want to bring in. So I'm going to create a new point, P. It's been detected as a single point measurement. I'm going to add that one in there. Great. Now, if I wanted to get these in here, for example, so I'm going to quickly look up the code for that one. Let's open up our code library. Oh, there it is right there. BP barrier post. So I'm going to hit create again. Navigate to the correct view. I'll type in BP. That pops up as a single point measurement. That one's correct. I'm going to place it right there on top. Next one, right here. Continue on. Now say I accidentally put one in the wrong spot. Let's close out of the tool here. We'll make sure the editing's unlocked. And if editing is unlocked, just grab it, move it to the correct location. If I need to change the code or add to the label, I can do that. Now if I want to add a custom code, for example, ignore elevation, which you might want to do for some of these bollard posts because we don't want them to be a part of the surface. Create a single code, let's say BP again. I can add this label, -C. That's a custom label on there. Place the point. That one's been added with the custom feature code label that will be available when you download it. So now, say we have some line work that we want to download and bring into Trimble Business Center. So assuming the code library in the qSurvey virtual survey application matches what you have in Trimble Business Center, all of these lines that we have here in the platform will be connected up. So now I'm just going to hit download. It's going to download that as a CSV, and we'll bring on everything into Trimble Business Center.